In this constellation's artistic depiction, this planet is located at the very tip of the crow's beak, as if the planet's position in the heavens reveals that it's ready to take care of business. These beings don't look particularly friendly either. They were standoffish in demeanor at first, not what you'd call open books. However, they're not afraid of me or anyone else. They are in complete control. You would definitely want them on your side in a fight. This is a group that's been through a lot of battles, not only to protect themselves, but to also help keep evil at bay universally. Let me introduce you to the mysterious Alchibans. Although they are currently in a time of peace on their own world, Alchiba is a planet that has closed its doors to outsiders, but still participates in galactic warfare for the fight for good to prevail over evil in our universe. Welcome back. I want to thank everyone for their comments and for watching these videos. Your support means a lot. And for those who are new to this channel, I'm Erin Lynn, and today we're going to talk about the Alchibans. This is an ET group from the star with the Bayer designation of Alpha Corvi in the Corvus or Crow constellation. The Alchibans were one of the earlier unknown alien groups to reach out to me. I've since read for several of these star feeds through my Akashic record readings. It's interesting. They were quick to let me know of them, but they weren't terribly open with me after that. Not that I found them unfriendly, just businesslike. The Alchibans are a benevolent group, but they were closed off. There was a hesitancy in letting me know too much. They weren't exactly open books that were super excited to show me around, unlike some other ET races I have encountered. Nonetheless, they did allow me access to their world and to get a good look at them. But they had minimal interactions with me. The Alchibans simply walk right by me without much acknowledgement. No alien must interact with me or allow me access to them. It's entirely at their own discretion. Therefore, I appreciate the access they have given me thus far. This group did come forward to request I make a video about them at this time. Alchibans are very tall, elegant-looking aliens. They have impossibly slender bodies that are draped with a loose-fitting silver robe that almost touches the ground. Their skin is bright red and seems to even to glow a bit, although I only see their heads, hands, and feet because their clothing covers most of their bodies. They have large and elongated skulls, but very human-looking facial features. Their large, bulbous heads are bony, not soft. Their necks are long and thin, as if not substantial enough to hold up these large heads. Alchiban fingers and toes are long with black fingernails. There are males and females in their species. Adult males are on average about 15 feet, which is 4.5 meters tall, and females about 13 feet, which are about 4 meters tall. The females wear a head covering made from the same silvery material as the male and female robes. Some female Alchibans will wear silver dangly fringed earrings, necklaces, or even decorative headbands across their foreheads. Neither male nor female Alchibans have hair. Alchiban society is neither a patriarchy nor a matriarchy. There is an acknowledgement of the differences between the two genders and what they bring to society. Both are seen as equally important energies, and no one gender more relevant or powerful than others in their culture. Many skulls have been found by archaeologists throughout our world that have elongated heads like the Alchibans. These skulls have been found in Peru, Bolivia, Bavaria, Germany, Sweden, United States, Africa, Hungary, Russia, China, and other locations. The currently accepted explanation for these skulls is from binding the heads of infant humans to create these non-human head shapes. This is said to be a cultural behavior to show wealth and importance of the head-binded individual. When I inquired with the Alchibans about this, I was told that these skulls are not them, but many are from another race that lived on Earth. Some found on Earth are a result of head binding, but not all. There is minimal genetic relationship between these non-binded, elongated skull beings who were on Earth and the Alchibans, The Alchibans are not the only race in our universe to have such elongated craniums. I know of at least 3 others. The Alchibans inform me that their heads are not bound or manipulated in any way to attain that shape, that they are born that way. Alchiba is currently in the 9th dimension. This planet is hot and has a rocky desert landscape. The sand and rocks are tan colored. It's sunny and bright there. There's not much vegetation around, just some desert plants. There are 3 white suns in the sky. And there are some lakes on the planet, and some areas are a bit greener, but it is a year-round warm place. It does not rain often on Alchiba, nor does it ever get cold. The terrain is quite rocky and rough throughout the realm. When we think of a desert environment, especially a planetary-wide one, we may think of scarcity. We may think of difficulty to sustain life. However, nothing is in short supply or difficult to sustain on Alchiba. They have figured out how to maintain enough water for all living things on their planet, as well as expertly harness massive amounts of power from both their suns and the atmosphere itself. I was shown a device that shoots an electrical current into this clear container, and it multiplies potable or drinkable water. And this water is used to refill natural lake and creek beds when needed, as well as water for the beings to drink. This water multiplier device is found in all their homes and is used as frequently and normally as if we'd use a microwave oven. The Alchibans live inside caves built into mountainsides. The outside of these mountains don't really reveal that beings live inside them. The majority of Alchibans choose to live in these types of dwellings. These cave homes are sturdy, secure, and not obviously a living area. This is preferable because it hides them and makes them less vulnerable to any potential attacks. Even though their living situation may look primitive on the outside, the inside of these caves have all the comforts of home and is filled with technology and gadgets that assists their daily lives. The Alchibans are an alien race that embraces technology. Not every Alchiban chooses to live in a cave dwelling. There are also city-like environments. In these cities, the buildings are not particularly tall, no skyscrapers or high rises, but they are taller than our single-story buildings because the Alchibans are so much taller than us. These structures in the cities are well spaced apart. Therefore, a city in Alchiba might resemble more of a suburb on Earth. And these buildings are made of material that's the same color as the landscape, and the structures are placed in curved patterns. These cities don't jump out at you like if you were flying over a major city on Earth. There's still a low profile element to how it's laid out. There are also some sort of material shallowly buried in the ground around the buildings, also in a curved pattern. I can see all these lines of this material curving around the city, only partially buried. However, it's still somewhat flush with the ground level, so no one's tripping over it. These are not roadways or tracks. The patterns are pleasing to the eye when I'm shown the landscape in a satellite view. It does all work together in visual harmony with the natural elements. These circular patterns are all very intentional, as it somehow collects energy from the atmosphere and powers up the surrounding area. It also creates an energy field that can be triggered on the ground like a city-wide alarm system, should there be an attack or an intruder. If the ground pattern is triggered, then a golden energetic wall rises immediately and closes into a dome of protection overhead. The activation of this energy protective device is done manually by an Alchiban or Alchibans who are tasked with watching over it. So there are no concerns about someone accidentally tripping on it and hence creating this enclosed energy dome unnecessarily. In the middle of these city suburb-like areas, there are about 200-foot or 61-meter or even taller bright silver metallic corkscrew type structures. They are all pointing upwards, and they are quite beautiful. It's almost like an art installation. And I'm told that these are the energy transformers that are present throughout their planet. And they are showing me what I would call a green laser beam that connects all these various corkscrew installations around their realm as an aerial attack detection system. These corkscrew objects also work in tandem with the in-ground patterns that create those protective energetic domes. I had a client with Alchiban origins mention that she remembered trains. When I asked to see their trains, I was shown a massive above-ground railway system. The trains are very streamlined looking in a bright silver color. They are long and looks to be able to transport many Alchibans at any given time. The trains do have what appears to be separate train cars, but they are larger and longer than those on Earth. Therefore, the train looks a lot less segmented than we would think of a train to be. Train cars are enclosed with no defined windows. However, there are circles of various sizes inset into the interior walls of the train that the passenger touches, and it shows the exterior view. Alchiba has become an isolationist planet. They are not the only alien race to close or strongly limit their planetary borders. We will cover additional ETs that are isolationists in future videos. So what do I mean by isolationist? Each planet will have their own specific rules that they may differ slightly in what they will or will not accept. In Alchiba's case, if a soul chooses Alchiba as its home world, then they cannot leave and incarnate on another planet. All lifetimes are on Alchiba and nowhere else. Should an Alchiban starseed decide to leave and experience another realm, they can leave, but they cannot return to Alchiba again. This is a difficult choice to make because they seem like a very close group. An earthly parallel would be growing up maybe in like an Amish community, and that's all you've known your entire life, and you have to cut off all communication with your family and friends that are still in that lifestyle, should you decide to leave. I don't think it's super common for an Alchiban starseed to choose to leave. However, I do see these souls occasionally amongst my Akashic record reading clientele. I will often hear them say to me that they miss their home, but they don't know what their home or where their home is. I suppose that's where I come in. But the most common reason I see Alchiban starseeds in earthly lifetimes with them being in an isolationist planet is they are an extremely trusted member of Alchiban society. They have been in leadership positions many times before on their home world and have proven to be extremely trustworthy and devoted to Alchiba. Despite their chosen isolation, the Alchibans as an ET race are very interested in exopolitics and receiving boots on the ground data from the goings-ons of other planets. They seem particularly interested in exploring low dimensional realms that are having a tough time of it, such as Earth currently, and before that, Alpha Centauri was a common one. Therefore, these hand-picked former, or perhaps current, leader souls will be allowed to participate in realm creation of other select realms. Certain souls with very specific energies and trainings will be allowed to incarnate on Earth to gather data and send it back to Alchiba. These representatives have been incarnating here since Earth's inception. This rigid vetting of specific souls allowed to do precise things on behalf of their planet reminds me of how organized the Schedarians are. I posted a video about them before this one, so be sure to check it out if you haven't already. Although Schedar has different reasons for bringing their souls to Earth, and they are not isolationist. Only these data collecting souls are then allowed to come back to Alchiba to have future lifetimes. From what I can gather, being chosen or allowed to go and experience another realm on behalf of Alchiba is a big honor. Those Alchiban starseed souls on Earth are probably not your typical Alchibans. This talk of being an isolationist planet is not to imply that Alchiba is a prison planet. All souls are privy and agree to the parameters in place before incarnating there. Outside of these seemingly draconian incarnation rules, life on Alchiba is free, and the inhabitants there are happy and love their world. Collectively, they are protective of their way of life and are okay with the lack of additional planetary experiences to maintain their safety. Of the isolationist planets that I'm aware of at this time, Alchiba seems to be more on the relaxed end of the spectrum. While I was not given much detail, Alchiba made the decision to become isolationist about 1.3 million years ago. They were not always like this. Alchiban society became infiltrated with negative entities. And as a result of this infiltration, they were embroiled in an extended war with several other planets. Other Corvus Constellation planets were also involved and traumatized because of this war. The other neighboring planets have dealt with the fallout in their own ways. This has had a lasting impact on Alchiba. To not have this happen again, they decided to close their borders. In addition to trains, Alchibans like horses. The horses on their planet are larger and stockier with larger heads than our earthly equines. These beings live amongst them, care for them, ride them, and even use them in battle. In fact, I've read for a few horse being Akashic records where the horse's soul was from Alchiba. It's interesting to note that the Alchiban animal souls are not beholden to the same incarnation limitations as the human souls are. Animal souls are considered incorruptible. Therefore, they can come and go incarnation-wise from Alchiba. Whereas the human souls must meet a rigid criterion or make a choice to never return. Many of my Alchiban starseed clients have been naturally drawn to horses in this earthly lifetime. This tells me how highly regarded the horses are on Alchiba. Alchiban horses come in a variety of coat colors. They are similar in the colors and patterns that their earth horse counterparts have. The most common color pattern I see on Alchiba are the dark brown, solid color bodies with black manes and tails. The horses are allowed to roam the rocky terrain free, but standalone shelters are made for them. The Alchiban beings keep an eye on them, and that they're well cared for and have their needs met. I don't get the idea that anyone owns a horse, but perhaps a friendship develops between those two souls, and they choose to interact frequently. There's quite a lot of love and respect between the Alchibans and their horses. Alchibans can telepathically communicate clearly with the horses and vice versa. That being said, Alchibans do ride horses in battle, even intergalactic battles. These horses do have special training to participate in warfare. I see that they also transport horses on their spaceships. This is an alien species that utilizes a few different types of UFO or spaceships. They have large, dark gray stationary airships that are parked just outside their own planetary airspace. At the middle section, it looks like a massive flying saucer shape, but they have a large pointed structure that's connected underneath. They also have a structure stacked on top that appears to be more square-shaped. Alchiban beings whose job it is to live on these ships for long periods of time. They are allowed to leave the ships on their time off and spend time with their families on the ground. These ships would never come close to Earth. There are smaller 2-, 4-, and 6-seater commuter crafts that are saucer-shaped but have 3 curved fins that jut out of the edges. These ships are silver and are docked on the large ships. These commuter ships mostly transport the Alchibans from the big ships to the ground. And these are not flown around their planetary airspace often. It appears that the Alchibans are always ready and will know if something is coming into their airspace well before a potential enemy even gets close. They're also very streamlined, dark gray, fast, medium-sized ships, also docked on these large main ships. They can hold up to 20 Alchiban passengers, and they'll be the ships that they fly to visit other planets. While this craft would potentially be the ones to visit Earth, I'm told that an Alchiban craft would never come into Earth's airspace. Therefore, these Alchiban crafts would not be spotted in our skies. Outside of their representatives who are currently incarnated on Earth and gathering data, they don't have anything to do with our planet. I hope you've enjoyed this official introduction to the mysterious Alchibans who have developed a hardline policy to protect themselves due to a challenging past. Any alien groups mentioned in this video that I have made videos about previously will be linked below in the show notes. Let me know what you think in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more content like this, kindly subscribe to the channel and check out my other videos highlighting other previously unknown alien races in our universe. Ever wonder where your soul's true home is? Should you want to have your Akashic record read by me, the link to the website is below. I love you all and welcome to a higher dimension.